On the 22nd of September 1955, the first transmission of ITV came from the heart of the capital. 50 years on, this is ITV1 celebrating London's best-loved programmes.
ITV started life 50 years ago. From the beginning, it offered viewers a new formula, a mix of popular entertainment and public service broadcasting that would change the face of British television.
Commercial television is here.
Over the following decades, many memorable moments cemented the channel's relationship with its audience.
Thank you.
All right, let's go for it. You what?
What was that for?
Can I jump, eh?
Hi, Woman Ingham.
Lights will guide you home.
When ITV first went to air, however, the channel had it all to prove. Two London companies, Associated Rediffusion and ATV, were at the heart of the new channel and would play a starring role in its success.
Studios, staff and technical equipment have all been assembled. A new public service is about to be launched over the rooftops of old London.
It was a London-made programme that was the channel's first big hit. Sunday Night at the Palladium. It introduced a TV audience to Bruce Forsyth for the first time.
Sunday, sweet Sunday, with nothing to do.
The show combined traditional music hall acts like the Tiller Girls with something brand new. One of the UK's first ever game shows, Beat the Clock.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Beat the Clock. We want you to pat this up in the air alternately. You see, you have one pat and then you have a pat. No, in the air. Look, give it one like that.
For the first time, the public were at the heart of the action.
I do hope you like it.
They could win prizes on a number of new programmes.
Now back to Huey Green and Double Your Money.
How long have you been Mr. and Mrs. Welling for?
55 years.
55 years? You've been married 55 years too? The two of you married 55 years? Isn't that 55 years? I think we can pay 55 years. Here we come for £4. Complete the names of the following famous music hall partnerships. And I'm going to name one chap, and I want you to tell me who the other one is. Flanagan and...
Adam.
That's perfectly right. Norton and... Gold. Revenell and... Doesn't matter. You got the first two. You're quite right. You got £4.
The game show format was a big hit, but the prizes on offer were a far cry from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Well, now, if you'd care to come over with me, viewers, we'll take a look at these wonderful prizes being given away on this programme tonight. Well, now, first of all, this superb hamper of groceries, including a chicken, a ham, butter, tea, coffee, tins of salmon, soup and fruit, and 1 dozen eggs every week for 2 months.
News would be one of the mainstays of the channel. And broadcast from ITN's London headquarters in Holborn, the news bulletins had a new, relaxed and unstuffy style.
Greek statue, the armless Venus de Milo, which has been one of France's greatest art treasures for the last 140 years. France has lent her to Japan for the Olympic Games. So the big question now is, will she be a 4-minute Milo?
The newscasters, as they were known, were personalities in their own right. People like Robin Day, who began his television career at ITV.
Angela, you're a model too, I gather.
Yes, that's right.
And do you agree with Mila about the figures of London models? Do you think they're skinny?
Reginald Bosanquet was another newscaster who went on to become a household name.
Are you in favour of the strike?
That's none of your business, is it? Are you an engineer? Are you an engineer?
No, I'm not.
So, well, then, you mind your own business.
Alongside hard news, there were items that tried to capture the mood of the nation.
report out today that says some drivers love their cars more than they love their wives. Do you?
Well, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Maybe, but what's the answer?
Well, yes, I do love my car, yes.
But you love the car
I
more
prefer
than
it,
your
yes,
wife?
Yes, now, yes.
Why?
More used to me now, I suppose.
ITV's London-made programmes were a big hit with the public. The new channel was a success. By the end of the 1950s, the 20 most watched programmes in the country were all on ITV. Armchair Theatre was one of ITV's most popular series. It brought gritty, real-life drama to the screen for the first time. It also gave many future stars their big break, including Diana Rigg.
So I thought you might like to tell Harry that you find him attractive. I find him attractive? Oh, you don't have to say yes or no now. Think it over. We've got plenty of time. If you thought you could help me, I would guarantee Gordon becoming manager of the Brentford branch. We're just waiting for the potatoes now.
Dramas rooted in real life were only one first. ITV also pioneered action-adventure series.
Your style is too simple, Baron. You're not fighting a minstrel now.
The Adventures of Robin Hood was filmed at Nettlefold Studios on the outskirts of London and proved to be a massive hit at home and abroad.
Watch your foot. If you overreach yourself again, you'll catch your death of cold steel. No escape that way, Baron.
And your name, Signore?
Simon Templar.
A modern-day swashbuckler proved equally popular with viewers. The Saint was made by London company ATV, and its hero, Simon Templar, was a debonair action man whose weekly destiny was to fight villainy and still find the time for a flurry of cocktail parties.
Are you in Rome for long, Mr. Templar? That depends. You must dine with us one night. I'd love to. Cheers to crime. That's an odd toast for you, Mr. Templar. I thought you'd changed sides. I have. In fact, I'm resolutely against the ungodly now.
The Animal Story, from London Zoo and Whipsnade Park.
A world away from the Saint's glamorous existence, ITV explored the animal kingdom in a family favourite presented by Desmond Morris.
Look at these ears, for example. They're very human in shape and design. For several months, Congo showed a lot of interest in painting. He wasn't rewarded for doing it. Like a lot of people, he simply enjoyed himself playing about with brushes and colours.
More serious matters were covered by ITV's prestigious current affairs programmes. This Week and The World in Action shed light on many important issues.
4 weeks ago, World in Action revealed the plight of the Bradleys and their 6 children living in 2 squalid rooms in London's Stepney.
My mother and father sleep in a bedroom with 4 children.
Saab 93 V6 Turbo Sport Wagon.
Our Shine experts have now created the 5th dimension in Shine, Glist 5, with detergent, rinse aid, salt action, outstanding long-term glass protection, and unbeatable shine for your stainless steel. This expert definitely approves. New Glist 5, buy 2 packs for £10 at Sainsbury's.
Hello. We at Kellogg's are so sorry for making our cereal so ludicrously tasty that we're giving away 10 convertible gold minis to you crunchy nuts. What you do with them is up to you.
Win a convertible mini with packs of Kellogg's Crunchy Nut.
Now, in the 15th century, they thought the Earth was flat.
Oh, flat? Flat snacks? You must try these Kinder Hippo-shaped biscuits. Great for lunchboxes and so delicious.
A delicious milk and hazelnut filling in a light wafer biscuit sprinkled with crispy meringue. Kinder Happy Hippos. Bring happiness to your lunchbox.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, baby, yeah, baby.
A lot of people seem to be getting rather, how shall I put it, overexcited about the Norwich Union Direct Summer Extravaganza. Up to 25% off online car insurance quotes until September 30th. And now I come to think of it, that is well worth getting excited over. So visit Norwich Union Direct on www.quotemehappy.com before September 30th and let us quote you happy.
If there's any justice in the world, I would be your man. You would be my girl.
For a smoother ride, tune in to 102.2 Smooth FM, the smooth new sound of London.
Your son is just adorable.
Thank you.
You and your life partner must be so proud.
2.5 Men. Own the Season 1 DVD box set now.
In this week's Sun, be the first to read exclusive extracts from our new book, What Your Clothes Say About You.
How to look different, act different, and feel different.
And don't miss our exciting new column, where every week, one lucky reader gets a life-changing makeover. Don't miss Monday's Sun. We love it!
Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. Good girl. Come on, Cameron, through my legs. Go on. Oh.
2 bottles of Drinky Plus contain all the calcium of a glass of milk to help them grow. Munch Bunch Drinky Plus, great for growing kids on the go. From Nestle.
You think that, well, I can't do nothing wrong.
Fame pays with money, glamour and excitement, but it can't buy happiness.
I've actually lost count the amount of breast operations I've had. You sort of think, do I want to die for this?
Somebody go, oi, Blackwood, you're bankrupt.
The Price of Fame, Wednesday at 11, ITV1.
ITV was still in its infancy as the 60s took shape, but the channel was quick to reflect the changing times. Popular culture was changing, and the more liberal attitude of the day was evident in many different ways. An ITN report from 1962 captured a sense of these new times.
Here in this bookshop in the heart of London, Lady Chatterley goes on sale at 12 noon sharp. So let's wait and see how the rush develops and see what happens. Susan, why are you buying a copy?
Just to see what it's about.
Why do you want a copy of Lady Chatterley?
There's been a lot of fuss about it, might as well read it.
Why do you want a copy?
Well, we've heard so much about it, I just want to have a look and see what it's like.
How about you?
Because I shall shortly be doing a course on the modern novel at university.
How about you? You're doing the same thing, are you? Excuse me, sir, why do you want a copy of Lady Chatterley?
More family-oriented entertainment was on offer in the shape of the country's first ever medical soap. It was broadcast twice weekly, and by the early 1960s was commanding audiences of 16 million.
Oh dear.
I think a lumbar puncture is a jolly good idea.
You think it might be meningitis then?
Well, there's a possibility. You are showing signs of meningeal irritation, aren't you? Don't worry, we can cure it.
Emergency Ward 10 inspired a whole host of medical dramas, and soon enough, the new genre was spoofed. Morecambe and Wise's series on ITV established them as the country's most popular comedy duo.
What keep stopping for?
I don't know. This isn't Dr. Kildare. It's the Morecambe and Wise show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there's no reason to keep stopping then, is there?
No.
Right.
Great decade for British comedy, and ITV broadcast some of the brightest new talents.
Oh, hello. Hello. What are you doing here? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you exactly how I kicked the smoking habit.
poem that I wrote?
A little poem by Spike Meadow.
There was a young man called Wyatt whose voice was remarkably quiet. And then one day it faded away.
London was at the heart of the swinging 60s, and as the capital parted, a familiar character seemed perfectly at home with the new free-loving times.
In swinging London, whether you want to buy mauve hipsters or rent a man's chest wig for the weekend, the King's Road, Chelsea, is the place to look. They come in all shapes, sizes, and sexes.
By the 1960s, television was the public's main source of news. In 1967, ITN decided to introduce the UK's first half-hour news programme. Within a year, News at 10 was one of the country's most watched programmes. The Bongs of Big Ben became one of the show's hallmarks.
Very well, Colonel Benson. We'll attempt a rescue. But this is a tough one.
You can say that again.
Meanwhile, International Rescue was busy saving the world. Jerry Anderson's Thunderbirds, made for London-based ATV, was one of the biggest hits of the decade and led to 3 feature film spin-offs.
I shall never succeed in creating a robot with a finer brain than a human. That is checkmate, I believe.
I'm really proud of my International Rescue team today. Head back for base. We're going to give a real hero's welcome.
In 1968, big changes were going on behind the scenes at ITV. 2 new companies, London Weekend Television and Thames, took over the London franchises. One of the figureheads at LWT was David Frost. One of TV's most accomplished interviewers, he enjoyed success with a chat show that wasn't afraid to host some of the more rebellious figures of the time.
Will you welcome, please, Mr. Mick Jagger, Mr. Keith Richard, Mr. Brian Jones, Mr. Charlie Watts and Mr. Bill Wyman, or to give them their proper title, the Quiet Young Gentlemen of the Rolling Stones.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth. I've been around for a long, long year. So many a man sold away.
One of LWT's first hits was Budgie. It starred Adam Faith as a classic anti-hero who was forever ducking and diving to survive in the Soho underworld.
Say, for the sake of arguments, that I could muster together a bit of capital.
Budgie, you could not raise 2,000 shot buttons.
Stranger things have happened, Charlie.
They have, but only with loaves and fishes.
Upstairs Downstairs was LWT's most popular drama ever. It took the capital's past as its inspiration and was set in class-ridden Edwardian London.
Thank you, Benson. I came as quickly as I decently could. We were in the middle of lunch when the message came. Well, what's happened?
Mrs. Bridges isn't well, Richard. She's in rather serious trouble.
Trouble?
Last night, in the fog, on the way back from her day off, she took a baby from its perambulator outside a shop.
I knew it was wrong, sir, but I just couldn't help it. I only wanted to hold it to me, just for a minute, sir. Go.
She better go up to her room for the time being. If she'll remember after she's calmed down.
Go with her, Hudson, and then come back here.
Very good,
I'm sorry, my lady.
Calm along then, Mrs. Bridges. I'll see you upstairs to your room. You better have a wee lie down for a bit.
Of course, the police have got to be informed.
Richard, no.
How else are we to trace the parents?
I can't allow Mrs. Bridges to be carted off by the police. It would kill her. Besides, I have an important dinner party to give next week.
ITV sitcoms were at the peak of their popularity during the 1970s, and the London companies produced 2 of the biggest hits, both focused on the battle of the sexes.
What they doing on our board then, Shake?
Made by LWT, On the Buses featured the adventures of a Jack the Lad bus conductor.
Here, do you mind?
Yes, I do. Here's your darts.
Blimey, it's you.
Yeah, it's me, Iris. Do you mind getting off the board? Me and Jack got to have a practice. Go on, Jack.
Charming, we were here first.
Now, look, we've got a serious match coming up. Now, pack it in. We don't allow women to use the dartboard.
Oh, isn't it marvellous? They won't let us have equal pay. They won't let us become inspectors. They won't let us drive the buses. What will you let us do?
Shall we tell them?
Thames made Man About the House, which had a more modern take on 70s life, and looked at the trials and tribulations of two young women living with a male flatmate.
There's a man in the bath. A what? A man. A fella asleep in the bath. Oh, yes. Is he one of yours? Hang on. No?
In 1977, a special task force hit our screens. Bodie and Doyle were the professionals, and they weren't afraid of breaking the rules to beat the bad guys.
Listen, I'll have to have a stand-up fight before I get through to you. You want to get yourself arrested for brawling in public? Terrific. And I think Carly would like better than to see you safely out of the way till all this is over.
Look, I know what you're talking about. Eh? Now, don't worry. I'll not embarrass anyone. Okay?
The 1970s was the decade when London regional news and programmes came into their own and highlighted vital local issues. Magazine programme The London Weekend Show was there to document the beginning of a radical new musical movement.
Well, people have got worked up over plenty of musicians, from Elvis Presley wiggling his pelvis in the 50s to the Rolling Stones 10 years later. So what have the Sex Pistols got that provokes the same reaction?
What musicians do you write? I mean, who do you think is a good singer?
I don't. I don't have any heroes.
Well, the first thing you notice is that punk rock fans look as devastating as their music sounds. Torn clothes are held together with safety pins. There's lots of black leather and bizarre hair. And the whole idea is to shock outsiders.
Stylish.
Page 55.
To introduce you to the Mail's fabulous weekly lifestyle section, we're giving you this glossy fashion magazine absolutely free with tomorrow's Daily Mail.
Page 22. Page 10. Page 39.
Page 33.
Beauty, style, the latest looks, must-haves and amazing special offers.
Page 47. Page 5.
What page is this? Get your glossy lifestyle magazine free with tomorrow's Daily Mail.
Glade Wisp. The proof is in the puff.
1 puff, 7 puffs, 39.
Wisp releases the same amount of wonderful fragrance with every puff.
245, 506.
Glade Wisp. The last puff smells as great as the first. Glade, the welcoming scent of home.
It's paradise for germs lurking in the bristles of your toilet brush. But now, there's Fresh Brush from Toilet Duck. Just click it on and clean. When you're done, flush the whole lot safely away. The pad breaks up like toilet paper. Fresh Brush from Toilet Duck. Flush the brush, ditch the germs.
It's the day before the family holiday, and the brakes start making this funny squealing sound. Talk about timing. I tried a few garages, but nobody would give me the time of day without an appointment. I heard QuickFit were good, so I gave them a try. Now, they're really busy, but I explained my story to the guys, and they just bent over backwards to fit me in. They even did the job then and there, so they saved the holiday. Pity they didn't fix the weather. QuickFit will fix it.
Hi. Just in time. Try one of those. They're delicious. I can't. I'm really bloated today. I feel as big as a house. It's so uncomfortable.
You need to try one of these.
Activia yogurt?
Yeah, seriously. It's not just regular yogurt.
82% of people with digestive discomfort said they felt better in just 15 days after eating Activia every day.
They're really nice. So I see.
Activia. Actively good.
Denon.
Watch full-length music videos. Download the latest music tracks on your mobile and watch MTV clips too. Sweet thing.
We like music.
Swag. Stylish. Sexy. Absolutely. Hustle, the complete second season. And it's on DVD from Monday.
has inspired millions, outstanding in their field. Now is the time to pay tribute to your favorite stars from the world of arts and entertainment. Avenue of the Stars, live and exclusive to ITV1, tonight at 8.
The 1980s were a decade of transformation for London. As Margaret Thatcher introduced radical new policies and took on the unions, ITV continued to provide viewers with a place to escape and showcased an array of new stars from the world of entertainment. Meanwhile, local current affairs programmes allowed journalists and filmmakers to document the highs and lows of a decade which would change the face of London forever. Ken Livingstone and his battle with Margaret Thatcher to save the GLC became the subject of programmes which gave viewers a fresh perspective on politics in the city and allowed Londoners to form their own opinions on the changes sweeping the capital.
Tonight, from London, a unique television experience.
In the early 80s, a new entertainment format hit our screens. Stars from the world of comedy, film and entertainment came to the London studios to perform in front of a celebrity audience. The format was a big hit and still runs to this day.
One more question before our little commercial break.
Dame Edna, as you're one of the greatest, if not the greatest, writer of the 20th century, would you like to reveal to us what your favourite bedside reading is?
Well, I love the novels of Melvyn Bragg. I really do. I see Melvyn here, who's come from Cumbria. It's a little island off the coast. Melvyn has written 12 books. Has anyone here read any of them? Has that, yes? Little boys there, don't write him off for the minute, Melvyn. Or we'll never catch up, will we, Possums?
What I enjoy about situation comedy I enjoy is the one about the sailor coming home and seeing this place transformed with a carpet, magnificent carpet everywhere, and he went upstairs with carpet all relaid out there as well, and this great four-poster on which his wife was lying in a very tantalising negligee, and he'd come home, the sailor, unexpectedly, and he was staggered by all this opulence. And by the open window was a man in boxer shorts and a bowler doing press-ups. And he said, who's paid for all this carpet? And she said, and who's bought this four-poster bed you're laying on? He said, and who's brought you the negligee? He said, and who's been sending me £5 a week to Chatham? Said him. He said, well, close the window, you'll get pneumonia.
Current affairs programmes like the London programme examined the issues affecting different communities across the capital. Attitudes to race were changing. As London's migrant community gained a sense of identity, many felt unfairly treated by the system, and at a time of high unemployment, racial tensions were about to explode on the streets.
The out-of-work blacks have developed a street culture involving reggae music, blues parties, pool rooms, cafes and ganja, the Jamaican name for marijuana. Railton Road, running south from Brixton High Street, has become a centre for this street culture, attracting blacks from all over London. It's called the Front Line.
Last weekend, the disaster that many people have been predicting for the past few years finally occurred. Rioting, burning and looting of the kind that took place in America in the 1960s raged in these South London streets for more than 3 days. The events of last weekend were a major setback for the Brixton police for their policy towards the black population in this area.
When they kick at your front door, how you gonna come? Put your hands on your head, on the trigger of your gun.
not a racialist. I have nothing against the white men. White men educate me, teach me. The white man learn me all that I know, so I've got nothing against him. I am dealing with the police, so I want the white people to know that, right? We are not racialists. It's the police we are fighting against.
The CID or plain clothes, their attitude is totally anti-black. You know, I mean, they're the ones who actually carry out most of the harassment which has caused this latest thing, you know.
Drama also played a vital role in ITV's commentary on unemployment and civil unrest in the capital. In Made in Britain, newcomer Tim Roth played Trevor, a racist teenager who refuses to cooperate with any attempts to rehabilitate him.
I'll get a job from you.
Yes, but you'll have to wait, dear. There's a queue.
You get me a job, right?
Yes, but you can't jump the queue. And you're supposed not to take the cards from the display. Do you think you could put them back for me?
Tacky jobs, aren't they?
Well, if you wait, perhaps we can sort something out.
You got something useful I can do while I'm waiting for a job? I've got 10 O-levels, 7 A-levels, I speak fluent Punjabi and Chapati.
You'll have to wait.
I'll come back tomorrow.
See ya.
I doubt it.
You're watching London Weekend Television.
LWT introduced a new style of Saturday night programming in the 1980s.
Broadcasting from our studios on the South Bank each Friday night through to close down on Sunday. This is London Weekend Television.
Game for a Laugh, the show where the people are the stars. Tonight, it's One in the Kisser.
Programs like Game for a Laugh made ordinary people the stars of the show. The formula was a huge hit. The introduction of similar programs to the Saturday night schedule confirmed ITV's reputation as the people's channel.
I'd love to own a nightclub. If the cabaret failed to turn up one night... How would you keep the customers entertained for me? Dare I ask you, number 3?
Well, definitely I'd sing, and when you see me, you'll know why I'm singing this song. I'm every woman.
After the success of Game for a Laugh, Beatles About hit our screens in the mid-80s. The general public would never be safe again.
See you, Geezer.
Who dropped the van away?
Sister, Who you pull that from?
Did you know about this?
Hello. Right, answer your names.
Saturday nights on LWT were also the home of London's Burning, a hard-edged drama based in an inner-city fire station. The series performed so well on the national network that it went on to become one of ITV's longest-running dramas.
Keep calm, we'll be up with you as soon as we can.
There's a man in the yard. I saw him from my window.
All right, get your family clear. We'll deal with it. Chaffer, take this down to the end. We'll walk down to you. Chaffer! Big pumps 12! Work up!
LWT had Saturday night success with London's Burning, Thames used its weekday slots to develop The Bill. Starting life as a one-off drama, the programme went on to become the most successful police show on British television.
Who said anything about dropping him out?
All right, not you. That's what Burnside's after. Why else would I be up here?
I like your company.
Oh, come on, Roy, I've got work to do.
You owe me one, Bob. Remember? So does that snot-nosed trog of yours.
He's not walking, Roy. Look, that's young Carver's first collar. Anyway, you know how I feel about these silly games.
Look, all I need is a couple of days, that's all. Don't charge him now. Bail him out to attend the station at a later date.
Yeah? On what grounds?
In order that further inquiries be made regarding the property found in his possession. Can be official, no problem.
You've got all the answers, haven't you?
I try, Bob. I do try.
You do, don't you?
In the mid-80s, LWT produced Dempsey and Makepeace, an American-influenced cop drama teaming Glynis Barber and Michael Brandon as reluctant police partners fighting crime on the streets of London. The series attracted over 10 million viewers a night and was a big hit across Europe.
Don't tell me you're complaining.
You know, Makepeace, you're a lousy cop, and you're a worse driver.
If there's any shortcoming in my ability to do my job, it's because I have to be shackled to you while I'm doing it.
Shackled to me, huh? That's not a bad idea. Would that be day and night?
Heaven forbid.
Look at this. What in hell do you call this, Dempsey? Don't you know where you are yet? This is Wandsworth, not Chicago.
Hey, you can't blame me for this. I wasn't driving.
The 6 o'clock show combined current affairs and entertainment to make compulsive tea-time viewing for families across the capital. Hosted by Michael Aspel, guests ranged from celebrities to local politicians. Here, Ken Livingstone is introduced to Vegemite by Australian actor Paul Hogan.
Now this is has this been tampered with? What do you say, Ken? We know what goes in it, see?
It's like Marmite with ether added to it.
And Danny Baker's legendary roving reporting made Londoners the stars of the show.
Yeah, how you stuff so?
Yeah.
Take knockers. A few years ago, everybody had a pair. Now, no one can quite remember how to use them. No, you got to give it some action here. Great, mate. Well done. Nice sound. No one can pogo anymore. Not even punks. Ready? Go on, get them hips going. Let go. Well, even hula in a hula hoop seems a forgotten art. You see, you've got the knack.
Absolutely fantastic.
The show's daring stunts featured an array of familiar London landmarks and gave viewers some of the most memorable TV moments of the 80s.
It's a little bit nervy. God, you wait till I get up there, right? I'm going to carry on a bit now. Yeah, lovely, Simon, thank you.
Then, just like those stonemasons of 142 years ago, Reg had laid on a little tea.
I'll have a cup of tea, mate. That tea is lovely. Yeah, what kind of things can you see from up here, then?
Well, you can see everything. The Houses of Parliament down there, Buckingham Palace over there to your right. Look around, you can see everything up here.
Down below, the face of London was changing. A financial boom in the city and transformation of the Docklands from derelict wasteland into financial hub meant that some young Londoners were more prosperous than ever. London was caught in the whirlwind of enterprise culture. From the back streets of the East End to the flashy heights of the city, everyone was out to make their fortune, and ITV's on-screen characters were no exception.
Oi, you! Shut your mouth and look at my watch! Loads of money!
I always drink champagne. Best drop a lot of money can buy champagne. I used to get the first round. I go, oi, mate, I want 10 pints of champagne and 2 pints of champagne top, all right?
In Minder, Dennis Waterman teamed up with George Cole to create one of the most memorable TV double acts of the 80s.
The idea, you, my friend, associate, the man I brought up from the gutter, taught, nursed, trained, like them, Maggie's Millions.
There's 6 of them.
Yeah, where's the rest of them? All tucked up in their kip. Don't even get up for breakfast television.
But all I'm doing is sussing out the job market, all right?
Job market? What, motorcycle messenger? Audio typist? Is that the limit of your aspirations? Listen, this isn't for you. This is for civilians. Workers.
Listen, Arthur, I've had enough, right? Standing on the door in some Kazi and acting lippy hooligans. Kung fu kicks now it is. I'll tell you what, I've got a season ticket to the casualty ward. Boracic and all. Can't even get my best shoes out of Menders.
Oh, why didn't you say? Oh, look, that's a good one.
Someone once said family is one of nature's finest masterpieces.
Hello, Mum.
Well, if that's the case...
I'm expecting you.
I've left your father.
Where?
I reckon the artist responsible for my family...
I'm a married man. At least I wasn't until you opened your big mouth.
I never said a word to Mum. Was bordering on the surrealist.
You've done enough damage as it is.
I have destroyed my parents' marriage.
And it doesn't stop there.
I've split up with Ash. Me and Jasmine need somewhere to stay.
Do you think I might be gay?
Nana, what are you doing here?
I got kicked out of the home.
It's no wonder Van Gogh cut off an ear.
I've come to live with you.
See what I mean?
From the creator of Cold Feet.
We'll have to break in. No. Yes. No.
And Life Begins.
This is ruining my hair.
Comes a drama that defines a generation.
5, in fact, with me stuck in the middle.
Rick Mayall.
Doesn't anyone take any notice of me?
In All About George. Coming soon to ITV1.
The 1990s saw a sea change for Londoners in both political attitudes and popular culture. It also proved to be a period of upheaval for ITV. The auction of the ITV franchises saw Thames losing out to newcomer Carlton Television, while LWT just managed to win a further licence period. But in a decade which would see the emergence of New Labour, Cool Britannia and Spice Mania, ITV continued to showcase the world's best entertainers whilst providing Londoners with a regional television service they could be proud of. The new decade brought new troubles for the struggling Tory government. In 1990, thousands marched in London to protest against the poll tax, and many people were injured in clashes between police and demonstrators.
But the mob were so excited to be in such a state.
The protests were a major factor in the downfall of Margaret Thatcher, and John Major became Britain's new Prime Minister. In the world of local politics, the series Summer on the Estate showed how government housing policies affected a Hackney estate. It set the standard for fly-on-the-wall filmmaking and won a Royal Television Society Award for Best Documentary.
The asbestos in our flats, they are a health hazard, and you are doing nothing to protect the lives of tenants.
Can I begin by saying very clearly that council officers do recognise that these blocks have very severe and intractable problems which have created an unsatisfactory environment for tenants. What I would like to propose is that we produce for this committee an interim report in July, which is actually only about 4 weeks away.
Oh, here we go.
We know what happened here last November. We came down, we gave you all the details that you wanted, and now you're coming back to us again and saying, we want more details. Get these tenants out of Hackney, of Kingsholm Estate.
Away from the harsh realities of inner-city life, LWT continued to provide viewers with Saturday night entertainment for the whole family. Programmes like The Brian Connolly Show were ratings winners and gave the public an array of comedy catchphrases.
Laugh, laugh, laugh. It's a puppy. It's a puppy.
You Bet was another popular tea time show. Filmed in the London studios, celebrity guests would gamble on seemingly impossible challenges to win money for members of the public.
Pull it your left hand back. Okay, right hand back.
That's it, that's it. It's got it.
Right hand towards me. Left hand back, sorry.
And Saturdays were not the only night for popular entertainment. Comedy duo Hale and Pace were Sunday night regulars and remained LWT favourites throughout the 90s. Through the Metroland series, Carlton Television gave new talent the chance to break into the television industry. Shall We Dance told the story of an elderly dance group. The programme went on to win the Best Documentary Award at the Pre-Circom European Film Awards.
Whatever comes along, try and do it, and if you can't, well, you just don't do it. But otherwise, you have a go, Joe. That's what it is, isn't it? So there you are, you see, all aboard.
It's got the key in the lock.
In the early 90s, ITV revolutionised the police drama when it made Prime Suspect. The series was written by Linda LaPlante and starred Helen Mirren. It broke new ground by establishing a woman as the head of a Scotland Yard murder squad.
My name is D.I. Muddyman, Southampton Road Police Station. We're arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Things have taken quite a turn, haven't they? You were lucky.
Luck had nothing to do with it. The lads worked really hard.
Bring me all the new information as soon as possible.
Of course, sir.
In 1993, the London programme were the first to report on the murder of 18-year-old Stephen Lawrence. At the time of transmission, the murder had been ignored by the press, and the botched police investigation closed without the capture of Stephen's killers.
It's the third racial killing in southeast London in 2 years. The violence has left this community deeply divided. When they arrived at the hospital, Neville and Doreen Lawrence knew only that their son had been attacked.
Sometimes you watch films and you see people being told to wait in the waiting room and there and drink coffee and smoke and things like that. And then you see two people coming towards you, and when you see two people coming towards you straight away, you start thinking, well, what are they coming to tell you? So when we saw them coming, I just felt it was something really bad. Yeah,
but not that Stephen had died though.
No, I didn't.
That's the last thing we thought. This, yes, he's hurt. Yeah. And all I want to know is how seriously hurt was he? And that was all. For him to be dead. No, that's not something I'd expect you to hear at all. I mean, when she said to me, "I'm sorry to tell you that your son had died," and I said to her, "How do you mean?" I said, that can't be true.
Yeah. You have no suspect, no prime suspect in the case?
The story of the Lawrences' fight for justice was subsequently dramatised for ITV by Paul Greengrass and won a BAFTA for Best Single Drama.
As I say, there are a number of lines of inquiry, but it is just not possible at this stage.
Look, 2 weeks ago, my son was killed, OK? Afterwards, somebody saw them washing the knife. Everybody knows who these boys are. We've been getting calls. If they're telling us, I'm sure they must be telling you. look, had this been a gang of black boys, you people would have gone down there and torn that estate apart.
There's been a white family, have police outside their house looking after them right now.
Precisely.
No one's looking after the
all
family.
we're getting is we're just being patronised. You know, you started off saying to us, you know, we have to understand this is a murder investigation. What are you... How dare you?
Mrs.
Of course we know it's a murder investigation.
Current affairs programmes remained an important part of the ITV schedule. In 1993, veteran reporter Brian Walden interviewed a young politician who was about to change the face of British politics forever.
Yesterday, I interviewed Tony Blair, the Shadow Home Secretary and leading Labour moderniser, shortly before he set off for this week's party conference.
I've never believed that the problems of the Labour Party are simply political. They are also, if you like, almost cultural. It is in a process of evolution and it is changing very greatly. And these changes are not to be underestimated. They're not to be overestimated, but they're not to be underestimated. They are very substantial and they have the broad consent of virtually everybody in the Labour Party. Now that is important.
Blair's sweeping changes to Labour took the party to victory and helped to give the country a new identity. Cool Britannia. As Londoners prepared for the new millennium, LWT celebrated its 30th anniversary. And in 2000, the London programme reached its 25th year of broadcasting.
Happy New Year.
As the city celebrated the dawn of a new millennium, cultures from across the globe united on the streets of the capital to celebrate its diversity and global identity.
The new Mayor of London getting a standing ovation.
The year 2000 was also marked by Ken Livingstone's triumphant return to London office. By running as an independent candidate, he went head-to-head with his Labour colleague Frank Dobson, a move that cost him his Labour membership.
Today, the story on the pages would be that although there have been losses in the rest of Britain, we'd had a triumph in London, Labour had gained the first elected mayor and most probably come close to winning a majority in the Assembly, and we would have been able to see headlines that this was the jewel in Tony Blair's crown. I didn't throw that away.
ITV has strengthened its identity by becoming a single company. But the new ITV London continues to serve the capital, and the London programme continues to win awards.
The health service in London is suffering a severe kidney crisis. Patients have no idea when or even if they will have a transplant. And even worse, the allocation system may be producing a racial bias. The situation is so bad that some Londoners are turning their backs on the NHS and are going abroad to have the operations performed on the black market.
Jamal's father went for a transplant in Bangalore in southern India, but it didn't turn out as he'd hoped.
My father obviously went to the operation and had the transplant done. And after 45 minutes of the operation, my father had a heart attack, and where he passed away. So obviously the result was that the kidney transplant was successful, but he died of heart attack. Where every time in the back of my mind I had this, it's like, is it heart attack?
Continuing ITV's tradition of Saturday night viewing for the whole family, Anton Deck's Saturday Night Takeaway is a mix of comedy, game show and celebrity candid camera, drawing inspiration from the channel's long history of weekend entertainment shows.
Funny you should say that, Bradley. Funny you should say that, because a few weeks ago, Bradley was booked as the after-dinner speaker for fictional firm TK Way Plastics.
I can't believe I didn't fall for that.
But things didn't quite go to plan. Have a look at this.
I don't really know where to start.
A group of people mourning the loss of a duck is a tough crowd for any comedian, especially when they're actors who've been told not to laugh at a single thing you say.
It's a thrill to be here. And then again, I'm on heavy medication. Are there any Arsenal fans?
Yeah, we're in the Arsenal.
Right, OK. I'm very sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm struggling.
Just, you know, you'll stand up or whatever, and then...
Just tell us a joke.
I don't do jokes.
I don't do jokes.
I think there's been a misunderstanding, everybody. Bradley Walsh, everyone.
Yeah.
That means, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank Bradley Walsh for entertaining us.
This year, ITV celebrates its 50th anniversary. For half a century, a cast of familiar faces and staff behind the scenes have earned its reputation as the People's Channel. As the capital moves forward into the 21st century, ITV will continue to offer a voice to our communities, a place to escape the city as well as learn about it, and above all, give Londoners a channel they can be proud of.